Hi, Empath Tribe. Welcome back. Today will be a little bit of a Q&A, and we'll see what else comes through. I received a few questions. I think I've probably answered a couple of these questions before, but I'm going to go ahead and read them and then share. And feel free. I love it when you email me or message me on social media. I'm always happy to share my insights. But of course, trust your discernment, follow your guidance. Always go into the sanctuary of the heart and get your answers and your command codes from the divine, from God, from creation, because there may be unique variables associated with your situation and your life path that are very different, from me. I'm sharing what I download and sharing my path and my experience in the hope that it will be helpful to some of you. And yet, we're all different, right? We all have different nuances associated with our energy signature. We all have a different path and a different calling. The one thing that we have in common is our energy sensitivity. And then, we want to do good in the world. We want to help the planet heal, and we want to help the planet be better. So thank you, for doing your part and for showing up in the ways that you do. So here's a question that came in. How do I break up with the part of me that keeps self-sabotaging? So I was working with this person in another area of their life, and I asked them if they had broken up with the part of them that was tolerating, a particular thing. And then they came and emailed and said, well, wait a minute, how do I just break up with the part of me that is always self-sabotaging? And so one of the things that I'd like to suggest is self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness is such a beautiful way to realign ourselves to our highest truth. And so if you have sabotage, whether it could be the smallest thing like overeating or eating the wrong foods, like maybe you're lactose intolerant, but you're always eating ice cream. Or, you shouldn't be eating gluten, but you're always eating the bread. It could be something like that may seem trivial. Or it could be that you tend to date toxic people, or you're a people pleaser, or you find yourself in situations that are very difficult or painful because you keep placing yourselves in those situations. Whatever the reason is, whatever your reason for self-sabotaging and whatever the circumstances around your self-sabotage are, I want to encourage you to do meditation and to get still. You can journal. You can write down a list of the things that you want to deactivate from your life or deprogram from your life. And you can also write down the things that you want to activate or program or upload to the mental computer. You can upload software at any given point. You can deactivate software at any given point. This is just simple brain work. It's just clinical stuff that creates, clinical neuroplasticity. Now, of course, you can also activate energetic light codes and energetic protocols, and you can deactivate, you could say, the viruses, right? Anything that is not aligned, anything that no longer serves, anything that is not helpful to your soul path, your empath work, you can deactivate that, deprogram that, remove that, cut ties, dissolve cords, all of that. But something that I think a lot of times people forget about is this beautiful grace that we can extend to ourselves in prayer or meditation. And that is where we truly acknowledge to every part of our being that was affected by the self-sabotage, the poor decision, the patterns, the cycling and things that were not helpful. When we acknowledge, when we speak to our brain, our conscious and subconscious part of the brain, and we speak to our nervous system and we speak to our body, and you literally say, Cells, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Organs, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Brain, I'm sorry for uploading information that was not aligned with what the divine had for me. Body, I'm sorry for exposing you to those foods, that environment, those people, drugs, alcohol, sleeping with the wrong people, eating the wrong things, watching, movies or TV that is not uplifting, that causes anxiety, watching things or reading things or listening to things right before I go to sleep that are going to cause my nervous system to be tense. And then I'm wondering why I'm having nightmares and bad dreams and why I'm waking up feeling anxious and stressed out and why I am afraid of people because I'm watching all these, horror flicks or whatever it is. Really allowing yourself to connect with all of your parts and then asking each of your parts to forgive you and then actually forgive yourself. So the connection that we have to spirit, of course, is beautiful. It's so wonderful. But the connection that we have to ourselves is also a part of your self-mastery. It's part of our learning curve, empaths, to learn to connect to our own soul and our own being and to love ourselves back to life and to have such a beautiful, intimate relationship with all of your parts, all parts of you, your bones, your blood, your ligaments, your tendons, your bone marrow, all of your organs and all of your cells and every part of you that you need to show up for you so that you can live this life with excellence and health and wellness. All of those parts need to be tended to. Think of your body, your physical temple, and all of your parts, your energetic aspects, the invisible parts of you, your emotions, your intellect, your mentality, your spirit, your soul, all of your parts. Imagine that your temple is a garden. It must be tended to. It needs to be watered and nurtured and fertilized and pruned. And we've got to pull the weeds out of our own garden. It takes great courage to pull the weeds out of our own mental garden. Those thoughts, those ideas, those perceptions, and those ways of conceptualizing that are just toxic or negative. It takes great courage to go in and pull those weeds out, right? And to fertilize, to take ownership over what we are planting in the garden. What seeds are you planting in your garden, dear empath? So to break up with the part of you that is self-sabotaging, it first starts with acknowledging your temple or your garden, if you will, as being sacred. Return to the sacred. Bring the sacredness back into your temple. Bring purity back. Treat yourself like you are the most beautiful royal diamond, gem, emerald, sapphire, ruby. Treat yourself like you are very special. You are your own treasure. And restore that relationship with your own self where you honor all that you are. Forgive yourself for what needs to be released. Forgive yourself for what you've done in the past. Give yourself permission to remove yourself from the mental imprisonment that maybe you've been in for some time. Acknowledge all the things that could have been better, that need to be better, that should be better, and then release yourself from the bondage of those things. If you have traditionally dated the wrong type of person, people that gaslight you and that were negative and toxic and brought a lot of guilt or shame, or maybe you've dated people that have stolen from you. If you see patterns and cycles that you want to change, rather than beat yourself up about these things, just exercise the courage in this new unit of time, in this now moment to say, okay, I'm done with that. I want to acknowledge I've done this, that, and the other thing. This, that, and the third. I did this, I did that. I was at this, I was at that. I almost said I was a hoe, but I'm not going to say that. I was not. Just that came into my mind that someone might want to just say, acknowledge, I did this, that, and the other thing. I was this in my past life. But I can't believe I said that. I can't believe that I said that. It's so funny. Anyway, In this new unit of time, I choose not to be that person. In this new unit of time, I choose to be a better version of myself. Body, will you forgive me? Brain, will you forgive me? Spirit, will you forgive me? Cells, organs, will you forgive me? Sexual organs, will you forgive me? Energetic field, will you forgive me? Soul, spirit, will you forgive me? Okay. And then you restore the divinity back to your system. You honor your sacred garden with the knowledge of all that you know you truly are. And you remind yourself in terms of why you were born, why you signed up for this life path as an empath. And you forgive yourself. And then you say of your own accord, in this new unit of time, I deactivate all that no longer serves. And you know what those things are. Deactivate, deprogram them from your consciousness, remove them, release them, cut the cords and dissolve the cords. And then give yourself permission to be a better version of yourself, to realign to your highest truth. And in this new unit of time, in this now moment, declare, I am this. I am sovereign. I am sacred. I am a divine being of light. I am here on a mission assignment to serve the highest light. And that's how we do it. It's not this big, huge, horrible thing. You don't have to do penance, 3 Hail Marys and an Our Father and a whole rosary. No, just right now in this present moment, acknowledge what you've done, ask your parts to forgive you, and then realign to your highest truth. It can happen like that. We can break up with the old parts of us that no longer serve and realign and anchor and ground ourselves in a new version of who we are, like that, empaths. Exercise great courage to forgive yourself, release what no longer serves, and nurture your garden. Plant the seeds that align with your truth and water your garden with purity and sacredness, affirmations, declarations, and of course, love and light. The second question, why do I keep having unpleasant dreams? So this is one I know I've talked about before. We are multidimensional beings and we're seers, and some of us are very psychic. Sometimes, you are dialing into the energy or the emotional experience of your family members, your neighbors, your roommates, your colleagues, the environment around you. What we want to do, dear empaths, when we are living a sacred life and we have our consistent rituals and ceremonies, of connecting with the divine, and we're living with integrity and we're living from the heart and getting our commands from base, from the divine. And you continue to notice that you have bad dreams or intrusive thoughts, invasive images, whatever shows up in your experience. We want to stop personalizing it and thinking something's wrong with us and that we're somehow bad. And we want to recognize that it's actually a gift. We're being allowed to see what's going on in our environment so that we can clear the energy and up-level it. So when you are continuing to have unpleasant dreams or see things that are scary or uncomfortable or ugly or dark, what you want to do is invite your spiritual guidance team that supports you and works with your structure on this path, in this empath journey, to support you and guide you. You want to express gratitude and thanksgiving for what you are seeing while acknowledging your ability to transmute the energy and up-level all situations and circumstances that you are seeing to a higher resonance, to a higher vibration and a higher frequency that acknowledges and aligns with divine, with God's plan, with the divine truth, with the highest and most profound evolutionary unfolding that's available. Okay, so when you see something, hear something, experience something, dream something that is uncomfortable, instead of personalizing it and saying, well, why is this happening to me? I've done so much work on myself. What's wrong with me that this is still happening? See it as an opportunity, and with gratitude, Express your gratitude to the divine for bringing it into your field, and then call in your guardian angels, protectors, all of those divine beings that work with your structure, who have the ability to help you transmute the energy and the experience to a higher divine offering and a blessing and an experience. And you step into your divine shoes and your power and speak as a divine being of light. You could say, my name is, so if it were me, my name is Eileen Regina, and I am the light of my soul. And I call in all divine beings of love and light who are equipped to assist me with this situation. Let's transmute the energy of war. Let's transmute the energy of sex trafficking. Let's transmute the energy of child abuse. Let's transmute the energy of famine. I call in all divine blessings from the north, the south, the east, and the west, whatever is possible, whatever higher evolutionary unfolding, whatever blessing can be gifted towards this situation in this present moment now. I call it in. I call in love. I call in light. I call in support for the highest blessings, for healing, and for all that is possible and all that is available that serves the highest good for all people involved, for this situation, for this environment, for the energetic field. And so it is. So, dear ones, that's just an example of how you can transmute the energy that you're seeing in dreams or in your visions or in your third eye when it's not pleasant. And the next question, the third question, how do I handle the moments when being a human is hard and I don't want to be on this planet anymore? Yeah. Empaths, star seeds, galactic divine beings, angelic humans. Sometimes this life can be hard, but we can do this. And so when we have those moments of, in our humanness, not wanting to be here anymore and it feels uncomfortable. Now, of course, if you're feeling suicidal, please call the crisis hotline. Please get into therapy, go see a professional, a clinical professional if you are feeling suicidal. But if you are just having a moment as a divine being who's having a human experience and it's hard, give yourself permission to feel what you're feeling, acknowledge it, and then anchor into your higher truth. Activate the higher aspects of you that remember the mission and remember all that you are and why you even came in the first place. Realign to your soul purpose and the reasons why your soul and God, creation, divine sent you here. Activate your resilience, your inner strength, and realign to your ancestral purpose. Even if you don't remember it in the moment, give yourself permission to use your voice and your energy signature and speak out of your own mouth. Supernatural strength. Anchor into all that you are, a higher resonance, a higher version of you. Activate and call in higher aspects of you that know exactly who you are and remember why you came, and allow yourself to be in co-partnership with the divine, even in the moments of weakness and sadness and discouragement where you feel like it's not worth it. Humans are just, they're evil. They do bad things. Why am I here? I don't want to be here anymore. Give yourself permission to ask divine questions. How can I fully anchor into my highest potential? How can I allow myself to anchor in the divine foundation that supports me and my soul work and allows me to launch from a higher perspective in this present moment? How can I reactivate singleness of purpose, laser sharp focus, iron grip control over my divinity and my divine assignments? How can I allow myself to be in the divine knowing with excitement that I am here, born for such a time as this, activated as a divine empath for the mission that my soul agreed to do? And as a human aspect of my soul, as a human emissary of my soul's light, I got this because I am never, ever alone. I am divinely supported. How can I remember in this present moment that I am divinely supported? How can I know that 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 I was born for such a time as this and I got this? So that's how we realign our structure, dear ones, to a higher light, a higher frequency, a higher vibration. We, instead of focusing on what we don't like and what we don't want, we allow ourselves to ponder and re-envision and reconceptualize all that we are as a divine being of light, a sacred soul emissary. And in that moment, ask, how can we realign? And how can we reactivate? And how can we recalibrate? Being an empath, an activated empath, is not always very easy, but we got this. We got this. We can do this. And so I invite you, dear ones, to take a nice deep breath, to open your energy field. If you want, you can open your palms, outward this way or upward, whatever feels right. Hand on heart, one hand on your stomach, solar plexus, sacral area. Deep breath. Allowing ourselves to recalibrate to the highest light codes available. We open our channel and our consciousness now to the divine beings who love us unconditionally and serve our highest light. We honor our life path, our soul purpose with so much gratitude, and we call in all guardian protectors to remove nefarious agendas, remove the pebbles and stones and the difficult path wherever possible, and give us the ability to recalibrate and to refortify and to anchor ourselves in remembering who we are and why we are here now. Let's remember, empaths, why we are here, why we came. Let's integrate the new vibration, the new light codes that are available to us in this present moment now and shift out what no longer serves. Let's just release the heaviness from our field. Let's release all that is heavy, dark, and dense. And in this new unit of time, let's release and let's receive. Release and receive, release and receive. Release what no longer serves and receive the higher vibration, the higher frequency, the higher resonance. The knowing that we were born for such a time as this and we can do this. Deep breaths, empaths. Deep inhale, exhale. Let your pores, your cells, your organs receive the refortification and the recalibration that is offered to us now. Dear empaths, we can do hard things. Say it out loud. I can do hard things. Breathe. Dear empaths, we are fully supported. Say it out loud. I am fully supported. And take a nice deep breath. Dear empaths, we are backed by the energy of our ancestors. This is our foundation. Say it out loud. I am backed by the energy of my ancestors. This is my foundation. Deep breaths, empaths. And we are fully capable of accomplishing our soul goals. Say it out loud. I am fully capable of accomplishing my soul goals or my soul's goals. So it is. So it is. And so it is. We got this. We can do this. Anchor and ground in the knowing of all that you are. And know that it is well with your soul. It is well with our souls. It is well with our souls. Much love and light to you, dear ones. Can't wait to be with you again energetically, sending you love and light for your week. Many, many blessings. See you again.